goodness! Another week, we round out November. I don't believe it's already December, man. Before you know it, we'll be in 2025, and the AEW geeks will still be crying about me, man. Oh, boy. Never mind them, man. Monday Night Raw. It is Survivor Series week. It's time to go to war this week. War Games. And Survivor Series announced 2 more matches. I think now we have a total of 4. Go home show tonight for Survivor Series this Saturday. The ladies got advantage. Who got it? Was it Bianca? Was it Nia? Who is the 5th woman for Team Rhea? Braun Breaker almost caves his entire chest in on a absolutely ridiculous spot. Tag team titles on the line. The War Raiders against the Judgment Day. And I am the Judgment Day. On Monday night, man. Everybody else, they're in my rearview mirror. Why? Because we're the fucking #1 show in this entire community, no matter what. And when I get to the venue, A, I'm going to have myself an old-fashioned, and B, when I walk through those doors, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for November 25th, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday evening, wherever you may be. Monday Night Raw, man. It's the go-home show. Survivor Series this Saturday. We are going to I was going to say we were going to Raw. No, we're going to War on Saturday night. And WWE had a pretty decent go-home show tonight. Nothing groundbreaking happened. Nothing over the top happened. We didn't really get any extra mileage out of what we saw on Friday, which is what I was hoping for. I was hoping we would see the Bloodline, CM Punk, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. We didn't really get any forward or forwarding in that story that happened on Friday that basically burnt down the IWC because everybody was just over the top excited about what happened on Friday Night SmackDown with CM Punk being added to the War Games match, teaming with the OG Bloodline. We didn't get any Seth Rollins. Nothing on Seth Rollins. Completely absent from the show. I figured we would get his thoughts, or maybe we'd see a glimmer or a glimpse of Seth Rollins after what happened on Friday. We got nothing. We got nothing. So we got to wait till Friday because they did announce tonight that CM Punk and Roman Reigns will meet face-to-face and sit down face-to-face on Friday Night SmackDown. So we have to wait till Friday to get any answers to what happened on Friday this past week with his inclusion in the match. So we'll wait, and that'll legitimately be the go-home show a day before Survivor Series War Games on Friday, which, by the way, is a taped show on Friday night. As far as Monday Night Raw is concerned, not a bad show. Thank God it was live. Again, it wasn't the most exciting show that WWE put on, but they did add a couple of more matches to the Survivor Series card, which is always great to see. And two matches that have been building up, or they have been building up for the last several weeks, one more than the other. But it's great to see Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser on the Survivor Series card, and they will all battle it out for the Intercontinental Championship. We'll talk about how we got there, because Braun Breaker and Kaiser had a very good televised match tonight, which saw Sheamus throw himself into the picture. And we also saw Braun Breaker take one of the most scariest bumps that you'll probably see all year with what he does and the intensity that he brings to everything that he does. That spot last night, or tonight rather, was unbelievable. Ridiculous. So I'm glad he walked out all right. We'll talk about that. But the Intercontinental Championship will be on the line at Survivor Series. It will be Sheamus, Kaiser, and Braun Breaker for the IC title. They also added LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura. That's why I said one was built more than the other. LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura was added. That will be for the United States Championship, the Men's United States Championship. And it's great to see LA Knight get a PLE match, just like it's great to see the IC title get a PLE match. LA Knight is finally on a PLE defending the United States Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. We don't know why Nakamura is targeting LA Knight. We didn't really get a solid reason as to why he's targeted LA Knight over the last 3 weeks. So we're getting a match out of it. He's got nothing else to do. There's not really any concrete story as to why, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do there, because Nakamura is back again, repackaged again, with a different look again. So it's going to be very interesting to see if he actually fares decently against LA Knight, and if he could walk out the United States champion on Saturday night at Survivor Series. My guess says no. I don't think LA Knight is losing the United States Championship, but I have been wrong in the past. I just don't see LA Knight losing the United States Championship in a random thrown-together match just to round out the Survivor Series card with 5 matches. So those two were added on top of Damian Priest and Gunther, who opened the show tonight. Nothing really substantial was pushed there as far as story. Gunther is still playing up this lacking confidence story that he's going into Survivor Series with. He's not very confident that he could beat Damian Priest. He's low on himself. So we'll see what happens on Saturday night, as I do expect him to walk out still the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then obviously we got the War Games matches. The men and the women will both get War Games matches. Obviously the main event, Bloodline versus Bloodline. It will be Roman and his Bloodline, now adding CM Punk to the fold against Solo Sikoa and his Renegade, Bloodline 2.0. And we have the women, who are missing one on Team Rhea. It will be Rhea. It will be Bianca. It was supposed to be Jade. It was Io and Naomi. So Jade is not going to be on the team. We need a fifth. So we will talk about who that fifth is as well, because she showed her face tonight on Monday night in the main event against Nia, Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae, and we got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. So that is the Survivor Series card. Not much was pushed as far as anything extra tonight. They took a very safe route tonight on Monday night. We will definitely get into all that and a lot more. Also, the Tag Team Championships were on the line. The War Raiders, Eric and Ivar, defended the Tag Team Championships against the Judgment Day, JD McNuggets, and Finn Balor. And then we got the New Day, which seemingly everybody loved tonight. There was a implosion of the New Day, and they did announce tonight that they will have a celebration, 10-year celebration of the New Day, a reunion of sorts. We will see Big E, because there is no New Day without Big E. And Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, they were throwing bombs at each other. Legitimately, they wanted to rip each other's heads off. It finally came to a head, and they lost tonight against the Alpha Academy, Tozawa and Otis, in a very, very quick match, which surprised the hell out of me. And they took their anger and their frustrations out on one another in a very good segment where bombs were being thrown, jabs were being thrown at one another. We got mentions of the 6-second debacle where Kofi lost his title to Brock Lesnar on the debut episode of SmackDown when they debuted on Fox 5 years ago. We got Kofi Mania and how Xavier helped Kofi win the WWE Championship for Kofi Mania. We got bombs thrown, man. I loved it. I loved it. And I've always uttered, man, for years and years and years, I've always uttered, when the New Day is serious, they are fucking great. And I'm very much looking forward to what they do next week and how they go about this. Are we going to get a turn? Is it going to be uber predictable with Big E coming back to the fold? I don't know. So we'll go over what was said tonight on Monday Night Raw. And it was a decent show. Wasn't great by any means, but we will definitely get into all the shenanigans here tonight on Off the Script. Thank you guys very much for joining me on the Monday Night Raw post. It is Monday, November 25th. We had a very busy week last week, man. Big week. AEW Full Gear. Full Gear was on Saturday night, man. It was a doom. Yes, it was not a good show. But my show was good. Jesse and I did over 53,000 views. I think that may be the highest viewed Full Gear review post-show that we've ever done. So thank you guys for all of the support. You killed it. I didn't get to bed till 5:30 a.m. on Sunday morning because I stayed up very late with you guys and I had to wait till the video processed for YouTube. The life of a content creator, man. What am I going to do? But you guys killed it. So thank you very much for all your support. Tonight we're live. Tomorrow we are live. Tuesday Night Titans. I'm sure we'll have a lot to say on AEW tomorrow. We are going to go over all the news for you guys on Tuesday night. Gonna be great. Me and the Solid Monster as always. And then Jesse and I will be back with you on Wednesday. We will be covering Dynamite on the Thanksgiving Eve episode. The Continental Classic begins. The field of 12 is impressive for the Continental Classic. But I would have liked to see less duplicates from last year. We got some of the same men competing this year as they did last year. But it should be a great tournament, and we'll cover it on Wednesday night, so thank you guys very much for that. Thursday's Thanksgiving. Obviously, nothing will be going on there. Maybe I'll upload a video for you guys because I know everybody's going to be home. And then Friday, we'll have SmackDown, and then Saturday, I will be live for Survivor Series, as always. 6 p.m. start time, which is great. The earlier we start, the quicker we get out of the venue. It's always a good thing. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We will hang out at the end of the show tonight. Shout out to my family over on Twitch. We are also on Twitch, live streaming right now. If you guys want to follow me over there, would really appreciate that. If you guys want to get your subscriptions in over there, I would appreciate that. It's a great way to support the show. Hit that thumbs up. We are looking at a goal tonight of 750. So if you guys want to hit that thumbs up, it's a great way to support. If you guys are watching me after the fact, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of tonight's Monday Night Raw. Could be anything, man. Leave me your favorite color. Leave me your favorite Costco item. Leave me your favorite song. Leave me your favorite emoji. Leave me your favorite pro wrestler and ask, JD, why am I leaving a comment? Because every comment you leave helps me out in the algorithm. You basically don't even have to do anything. Just leave me a comment. YouTube loves engagement. And tonight's show is sponsored by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. You guys are going to get Blue Chew on me for free. All you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. And as always, I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast right here on this Monday night on Off the Script. Let's get into this show tonight, man. Monday Night Raw, go-home show, Survivor Series this Saturday. Sold-out crowd, man. The Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona. I don't know what the live attendance was, but I'm sure that it made AEW very jealous and very envious. They probably had, I would say, in the vicinity of 13,000 to 14,000. That would make the Dynamite audience around the 1,000 to 2,000 mark on Wednesday. I genuinely don't know even what they're doing on Wednesday night. They're in Chicago on Wednesday. You would think that they would draw a nice 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 deep in Chicago. I don't even think it's 3. To be quite honest with you, for the start of the Continental Classic. Oh my goodness, man, they are absolutely tanking in every sense of the word, man. You know who else is tanking? Gunther, man. What happened to Gunther? This guy can't buy any confidence lately. I don't know what's going on with him. Jackie Redmond's in the ring, set to interview Gunther, the world's heavyweight champion. So, Jackie aired a replay of Gunther's failed blindside attack on Damian Priest last week, where he tried to walk up to Damian Priest when he was sitting in the back. He was signing autographs, and Gunther wanted to apply a sleeper hold. Jackie Redmond said it feels like we've seen a different side of Gunther since he lost to Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel for the Crown Jewel Championship. And she's reiterated the points made by Damian Priest. Cody has a little bit more edge to him. Gunther does not. I don't know. Gunther struggled to find words here. Before he could say anything, Damian Priest interrupted. Jackie Redmond was about to leave because she didn't want to be in the ring with these two beasts. Priest asked her to hand Gunther a microphone. I'm out here now. If he's got something to say, he should say it to my face. He even said, if Gunther had grown a set over the last week, please say something to me. Priest figured Gunther wanted us to believe that the old Gunther was back, but they both knew that was not true. His killer vibe is gone. Gunther used to say whatever he wanted to anybody, used to do whatever he wanted to anybody. And none of these people in the past would have dared made a move on Gunther. Gunther had accomplished a lot in his career, but Priest knew that his insecurities were because he had never had a face-to-face like he has with Damian Priest. Priest wondered what would happen to the ring general when he lost to a guy from the street. Gunther still struggled to find any words here. He didn't say anything. He turned his back. He had nothing to say to Damian Priest. Instead, he quickly turned around and blasted Damian Priest in the head with the microphone. Gunther then hammering away with rights on Damian Priest as he's on the mat. And he cleared the announce table and was about to put Damian Priest through the announce table with a powerbomb. Damian Priest shoved him into the ring post and gave him a razor's edge through the announce table. And we begin Monday Night Raw with Joe Tess getting out of harm's way on Monday night, right at the top of the hour. Priest, he posed with the belt. He threw it onto Gunther, who was selling the attack through the table, the razor's edge through the table, and that's the way the segment came to a close. There really wasn't much to this whatsoever. This was very paint-by-numbers stuff. But like I said last week, with Gunther and Damian Priest, what they were doing going into Survivor Series, it was Gunther who was uber confident that he was going to walk out the World Heavyweight Champion, and it was Damian Priest who had the problems and the growing tension within the Judgment Day. As you guys saw at SummerSlam, Finn Balor was the one who cost Damian Priest the World Heavyweight Championship. On that same night, we had Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio pull a coup and turn their backs on Rhea Ripley, or Dominic, rather, turned his back on Rhea Ripley. There was a lot going on at SummerSlam. Now, Rhea Ripley's on her own. Damian Priest is on her own. Judgment Day's got their own problems at War Games with Team Rhea. But Damian Priest was dealing with a lot. Now he's not. And Gunther, who WWE has presented as one of the most unbeatable acts in the last 5 years, really. You can count on one hand who's pinned Gunther in WWE. Not many. Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, who I miss on this show. Hopefully we get him back soon. Not many have beaten Gunther. He's been unbeatable. And Triple H has booked him as legitimately the final boss. He was the final boss before The Rock coined that his nickname. It's nice to see Gunther with some sort of, I don't want to say a character, but it's nice to see Gunther with some level of humanization. They humanized Gunther. You know, if they keep Gunther the same way and he's like, you know, the ring general and he's rough and tough and he's sarcastic and he's unbeatable and he's the final boss, I find people like that, performers like that, characters like that, very one-dimensional, very boring. They'll get bored of them very quickly. Now, that wasn't happening with Gunther. I don't want to say that was happening with Gunther. But it's nice to see something different from somebody who's been treated as unbeatable and booked as unbeatable for the last 5 years. So now the roles are reversed. Like I said, Damian Priest had all those problems going into SummerSlam. Gunther did not. Gunther has all the problems going into Survivor Series. Damian Priest does not. But the outcome will remain the same. Gunther will find his confidence. Gunther will be reminded of who he really is. And the ring general will stand tall and still World Heavyweight Champion. So I don't think anything is really going to change. But the character tweak here for Gunther And he will get that confidence back at Survivor Series. And what Damian Priest does, I have no idea. But Finn Balor is still mentioning that Damian Priest is getting a championship match. And he just comes off every segment that we see the Judgment Day on Monday night. He's very jealous of Damian Priest and how Dominic didn't take care of it. How the Judgment Day didn't take care of it. And they let him slip through the cracks. So we may still be on our way to a Priest and Balor one-on-one match at least one more time. I don't think that's over. But right now we got Priest and Gunther at Survivor Series. Gunther's going to retain, and he's still going to walk out the World Heavyweight Champion. But I do appreciate the little tweak in the story that they're telling. Roles are reversed going into Survivor Series for both Damian Priest and Gunther. Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair. She was with Naomi. Shout out to Naomi. Naomi quote tweeted us on Saturday afternoon, right before AEW Full Gear. I put a picture up because my friend Keith, shout out to my guy Keith, I don't know if he's listening. He sent me a picture from SmackDown that I did not notice live when Bayley and Naomi hugged at the end of their match on Friday night. Naomi looked into the camera and she looked very not happy, is all I'll say. So I looked at this picture. He sent me this text on Sunday morning, and he said, "Did you see this?" I'm like, no, I did not. So I tweeted it out, and Naomi saw it. I didn't at her. I don't really at pro wrestlers. I'm not a mark. But I didn't at anybody. I just put it up for you guys to discuss. I said, did you guys notice this picture on Friday Night SmackDown? Would they actually think about doing it? You know? And I implied that maybe Naomi is the one who attacked Jade. Maybe Naomi goes heel. And I said on Friday Night SmackDown when I did the post show, I'm like, I think Bayley might have done it. I think Bayley needs a little character tweak. I think the babyface run has kind of run its course. I think she's always been better as a heel anyway, especially in this stage of her career. So I said maybe Bayley. But either Bayley or Naomi, right? Bianca is also a possibility because according to the reports, Jade's going to be out for a while. I don't know what the problem is, but hopefully she gets better. But those tag team championships right now are a big question mark. So long story short, she quote tweeted my picture and she said, JD, I thought we was cool. And then throughout the weekend and into today, she's been really playing it up that she's upset, and rightfully so, because she's a babyface and she's on Team Rhea for War Games. Playing it up to the fans, how could you? I don't know why you guys would think of me this way. She even put some polls up. So I quote tweeted her back. I'm like, no matter what happens and no matter which way you go, man, we're all going to love you anyway. Go and win that United States Championship because she's my pick to win the WWE Women's United States Championship. We love Naomi. We love Trinity. So Bianca was with Naomi and told Naomi that Jade was all banged up. She's going to be out for a minute, she said. Rumor is it's a neck injury. Meltzer says at least 3 months. I heard other reports today, don't know if they're really true or not, that Jade could be out to up to 1 year. Out for 1 year. I don't know if that's legit or not, but I did see that floating around today. But right now, Meltzer is speculating 3 months for Jade Cargill, which would put her right in line to get back for WrestleMania. So she's going to be out for a minute, but they would go after whoever did it once they figured it out. Naomi says they first need a 5th member for War Games. Io Sky showed up and suggested Kairi Sane. Belair said, Io, you cool, but I don't really want to add any more damage control. She's got this damage control thing, right? She doesn't like damage control, but she loves Io. She respects Io. I don't want to say she loves Io. She respects Io. So Naomi then suggested Bayley. Belair liked that idea even less. Naomi and Sky pleaded their case until Rhea Ripley showed up. She's wearing her black face mask now. Looks like the female Undertaker out there, Phantom of the Opera, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley did not care who their partner was as long as they could hold their weight and stay out of her way because she wants Liv Morgan. Belair sarcastically applauded her leadership. Yeah, it's a great leadership quality you got there. Great leading the team for War Games. You figure it out. I got my match tonight to give you the advantage on Saturday night. I got Nia in the main event. You figure it the fuck out, she said. Okay. Rhea just wants Liv. That's all she wants. So it looks like right now, at this point through the show, we still don't know who the fifth member of Team Rhea is going to be at War Games. And then there was a stare down at the end of this, Rhea and Bianca. Now, I know you guys have heard me say it. And my very early onset prediction for WrestleMania was Rhea as the World's Heavyweight Champion against Bianca Belair for the title at WrestleMania. I don't know if that's the direction that they're going in, but I do see that, if not this year, I do see that happening at a WrestleMania because that is one of the biggest matches that they could do that I don't really think they've done yet at this stage of both of their careers. So I would love to see that, but we will see what happens. It looked like Jade and Bianca were slated for a one-on-one match. You can kind of see where that was going, that the breakup was going to happen on the road to WrestleMania, and they were going to be each other's WrestleMania opponent. Rhea Ripley is a little bit more of a question mark. Becky Lynch is coming back. Asuka's going to be back in the new year. Obviously, Liv and Rhea is going to finish up before we get to that Monday Night Raw on Netflix, I would hope. She's going to win that championship back. Obviously, we got Becky, Asuka. I even mentioned Jordynne Grace, who is absolutely coming on in to WWE when her contract is up with TNA at the end of the year. I think that would be a picture-perfect fit on the main roster for Jordynne Grace. So she's definitely going to be in the Royal Rumble. So I don't know what WWE's got planned for the Monday Night Raw side of things. So we will see what happens there. But Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley had a very tense stare down. It might be a foreshadowing. It might not be, but WWE does everything with a strategic reason. Tornado tag team match. Julius and Brutus Creed against Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, who they are hyping up as the next Rey Mysterio, the future of Lucha Libre. Don't let Tony Khan hear that, man. He's got Hologram and the Beast Mortos and Commander all over his TV shows. No wonder why the ratings are fucking in the toilet. Julius and Brutus against Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee. Fun match. Very fun match. Great to see the Creeds, man. Creeds are excellent. Chad Gable is excellent. LWO had early offense here. Dragon Lee went for a double foot stomp off the ropes onto Brutus. Julius leapt to the top rope like LA Knight usually does and hits a superplex off the top. Julius is a fucking freak of nature. If you guys want to know who's going to be the singles breakout guy in the Creeds, you're looking at him. Julius. Not to take anything away from Brutus, because he's great too. Moments later, Rey went for a 619. Julius took him out with a big clothesline. Everything looks big on Rey Mysterio, man. It's like clothesline, took his head off, throw him around like a rag doll. It's great. After a break, Julius hit Rey with a 450. Dragon Lee broke up the cover and hit a tornado DDT, but Brutus broke up the cover. Creeds set up Dragon Lee for a superplex, but Rey tripped them up by hitting a 619 through the ropes. Lee followed up with a double foot stomp on both Julius and Brutus. Rey hit Brutus with a diving splash, but Julius blocked Lee's dive and drove him into the side of the ring. Rey set up Julius for 619. Brutus got in his way. Rey tossed Brutus towards the referee. So referee was kind of shielding himself from the oncoming damage. So he did not get taken out. He was just in the corner and he was blocked by the Creeds here. So Gable appeared on the apron and he twisted Rey Mysterio's mask backwards. So the eyes were in the back of his head, and he could not see. Julius put Rey in a schoolboy for the 1, 2, 3. There you go. American Made finally get a win, man. Holy shit. Now, if you've been watching, Brutus has been a little bit more of a goofy guy or a goofy character on television, to Julius being a little bit more serious. So they are trying to give them a little bit more charisma and a little bit more of a character, which is great. That's fine. Because they back it up in the ring. They're fucking phenomenal. And then Chad Gable is always great. So it's nice to see them get a win. They celebrated like they won the fucking tag team championships, which, you know, I guess that means a lot to them because they don't really get the W all that often. But they got the victory here tonight. And Chad Gable and Rey Mysterio have been feuding. So I don't know where this is going to lead. I don't know if this was the conclusion of all this, but hopefully we get some more W's for American Made. I just don't know what they do on Monday night. I've been preaching to the choir. Let's move them to Friday night. Let's move the whole group over to Friday night. Let's do some trade. Let's do a supplemental draft or something. Get them over there. Chad Gable, LA Knight, United States Championship at WrestleMania. I think that's the way to go. So we'll see what happens there. But the Chad Gable and company, American Made, get the victory on Monday night over the LWO. Judgment Day. They were in the back in the Judgment Day clubhouse. Liv Morgan, she seemed worried about War Games, but Finn Balor tried to cheer her up. R-Truth showed up out of nowhere, and he agreed with Finn Balor. So R-Truth was trying to negotiate with Finn Balor, saying that he needed a place to hide out because he was hiding from Butch, Pete Dunne. Balor told him to get out of the clubhouse. And then R-Truth says Thanksgiving is off. And he was upset that Finn Balor ruined Thanksgiving. As if he's a part of the family and he's not coming over for Thanksgiving anymore. Truth was upset. He left. Balor was upset now. Not only with R-Truth, but upset at basically everybody. Balor is low-key trying to... I don't know if he's trying to rile everybody up or if it's just low-key kind of asserting his dominance over the Judgment Day. You know, he said that they were no leaders, but, you know, Balor has pretty much taken the lead in the Judgment Day. So he told Morgan that her team needed to get the advantage. So Nia needed to beat Bianca, considering their opponents for War Games. He was upset with Dominic. He wanted to be positive. He was trying to be positive. He was happy that Dom and Carlito softened up the War Raiders last week, but they were good team players, and that teamwork would help him and JD McDonagh retain the tag team championships. Morgan and Rodriguez would win would win War Games for Judgment Day, and it would be a great week for the Judgment Day altogether. Balor was about to say something about listening to him succeed and leading the Judgment Day to success. McDonagh cut him off to say that they were one big happy family. Balor agreed. McDonagh cut him off because Balor was about to say something that the rest of Judgment Day did not want to hear or that they did not like. So they are definitely teasing Balor and his removal from the Judgment Day. I don't know how that will be. I don't know where that will come. But the Judgment Day, if there's one thing that we all can agree on, the Judgment Day have taken a significant back seat from where they were earlier this year. They are not the same group. This is probably the worst iteration of the Judgment Day. Judgment Day, honestly, if we're being honest with ourselves, was basically Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. And now they are off doing their own thing. And the Judgment Day have not felt the same. They haven't been in a major feud. They've just been kind of running their wheels over and over and over again against LWO and having these nothing matches. We got Carlito wrestling on a semi-weekly basis, which nobody asked for. Liv Morgan and the whole Rhea Ripley story has kind of died We're all waiting for it to end. Let's get the belt. We need to get the belt off Liv, and we need to get the belt off the tag team titles off Judgment Day. That's what we need to do. I think that tonight was their second defense in like something 150 days or so, something like that. Got to get those belts off JD McDonagh and Finn Balor. We got to get the Women's Championship of Liv Morgan. They have not felt the same. I don't know if we reimagine Judgment Day in 2025. I don't know if we end Judgment Day altogether. They'll go their separate ways. I don't know. It looks like Balor is not happy with anybody, and the tension from Balor seems to be growing week by week by week, as does the jealousy of Damian Priest getting a world championship match. He's mentioned that now almost every week we've seen him on television. Ludwig Kaiser. He wrestled Braun Breaker tonight. This was a non-title match. No Intercontinental Championship on the line. This went 9 minutes. This did have a commercial break. And we got about 4 minutes or so, 4.5 minutes or so of TV time. Now, Braun, there was news on Braun this week that WWE, they are not going to change Braun Breaker at all. They're not going to put him on one side over the other, meaning they're not going to make him a 100% babyface, and they're not going to make him 100% heel. They're going to have Braun Breaker play the in-between role. He's going to be a tweener. They're just going to let it organically just go. Whatever happens with Braun Breaker is what happens, which is a great move. Because I think more people enjoy Braun Breaker. I think more people appreciate Braun Breaker. More people want to cheer Braun Breaker than there are people who want to boo him. So just let it be. Let the fans determine what they want out of Braun Breaker. Ludwig Kaiser needs to prove himself all on his own. Gunther wants him to prove himself. Here we go. No better person to do that against than Braun Breaker. So Braun Breaker was looking good early on. He went for a running spear, and this is the spot of the night. This was basically right before the commercial break, which I could not believe the bump he took, man. So Braun was looking good early on. Ludwig Kaiser was on the outside. He was leaning up against the corner of the announce desk. Now, this is like the danger zone outside. I mean, WWE has this thing where they just love breaking the announce desk and battling over the announce desk. Kaiser's leaning up against the announce desk. Braun Breaker does his mile sprint around the ring. What do they clock him at? 26 miles an hour, supposedly? This guy runs around the ring, post to post. He goes to spear Ludwig Kaiser. And just picture, you guys know the WWE announce tables, man. Those big rectangular tables, right? Braun Breaker legitimately dove chest first into the side of the commentary table where it points out the very edge of the commentary table. He lunges for a spear. Kaiser moves out of the way. The point of the edge of the table almost impaled him live on television. He hit the edge of the table. He goes down in a heap. The referee was over him for a good 10 seconds before we went to a commercial break. I'm like, holy shit, man. I hope to God he's all right. That was fucking nasty. Nasty. So they showed a replay. It did not get any better. It did not look any better in the replay. They showed it twice. And then we go back to the action after a commercial break, and Braun Breaker is still going. So we all knew he was okay, but hopefully he does not have any broken ribs or any other damage potentially after that very scary spot. So that was ridiculous. After the break, he came back with a Frankensteiner. He went for a spear. Kaiser hit an enziguri. Kaiser left the ring, and all of a sudden, he was attacked by Sheamus on the outside, and Sheamus caused a DQ. Kaiser wins and beats Breaker by disqualification. So Braun Breaker confronted Sheamus Officials came down and tried to separate these three. They began taking swings at each other. Kaiser joined in. They went to another commercial break. We come back from the second break. All three men continued to brawl. Adam Pearce is out there. He's got a microphone. He announced a triple threat match for Survivor Series with the IC title on the line. It will be Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser versus Sheamus at Survivor Series for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. A, it's great to see Braun Breaker on PLE. B, it's great to see the Intercontinental Championship getting some love on a PLE. C, I think this is going to be a big spot for these guys. Sheamus, we all know, is chasing the IC title. I would not give Sheamus the victory at Survivor Series, and I would not have him win the Intercontinental Championship right now. I think Braun Breaker pins Kaiser. I think the reason Kaiser's in this match is because he's taking the pinfall. There's no reason to beat Sheamus, no reason to beat Braun Breaker. You save that next match, you do it, and do it right. At WrestleMania, I would love to see it, but the fact that we got these guys feuding right now, WWE may be heading towards Sheamus potentially taking the belt off of Braun Breaker before we get to WrestleMania and may have him walk into WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion. I don't know. WrestleMania happens at the end of April. We're going into December. Is WWE going to stretch a feud between Braun Breaker and Sheamus over the next 4.5 months? I don't know. Maybe they do it at Saturday night's main event. Maybe they do it on the Monday Night Raw on Netflix, January 6th. It's going to be a big show. It's going to be the biggest Monday Night Raw of all time. So, do they do it there? Do they move Braun Breaker on to a World Heavyweight Championship? I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. But Sheamus has been involved in the IC title for a few weeks now. This has been an ongoing thing for the last several weeks. Kaiser just got involved because Gunther last week told him to go make your own path. Go prove yourself. No better way to do that than against Braun Breaker for the IC title. I just don't know how WWE could stretch this out over 4.5 months. And I know they're ready to push Braun Breaker even further. So we don't know what Braun Breaker's plans are going to be going into WrestleMania. Sheamus may be the one going into WrestleMania with the IC title. Maybe. And the only thing I could possibly think of is maybe their plans changed. Maybe Sheamus walks into WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion. They give him the title win anyway because it's the only title he hasn't won. So no matter where it happens, no matter against who it happens against, it's going to be a special moment because that's the one title he needs to finish his collection. He's never won the IC title. It's the only title in WWE that he's never won. So maybe WWE gives Sheamus the title at some point in the next 4.5 months. He walks into WrestleMania as the Intercontinental Champion. And instead of crowning Sheamus at WrestleMania, because I figured they'd want to give him the WrestleMania moment, maybe they give Braun Breaker a shot at the world title at some point in that period, maybe early 2025, and they give Bronson Reed the IC title match at WrestleMania. Imagine Sheamus versus Bronson Reed at WrestleMania and Bronson Reed winning the Intercontinental title. It's not going to be ready for a world championship at that point. I would absolutely strap him with the IC title. I think he could do big damage with the Intercontinental Championship. At that point, Braun Breaker could challenge Goldberg maybe in a retirement match at WrestleMania. Maybe Gunther gets somebody else for the World Heavyweight Championship. Maybe we do get John Cena and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know where Triple H's mind is at. I don't know. We talk about Goldberg in his retirement match. You know what's coming. Maybe it is against Braun Breaker. I don't think there really is anybody better than Braun Breaker to retire Bill Goldberg. It's a big spot for him. I don't know what they do. But right now, we got this Sheamus and Braun Breaker feud. Like I said, the most important thing I've said here is I don't think that they can carry this feud for 4.5 months. Unless they stop it and then they revisit it. But We've seen it already. How many more times do we need to see it? I think Bronson Reed is the big guy that we need to start talking about, because after his Bloodline situation is finished, he's going to be right back on Monday Night Raw, and what are we going to do with him? He's got to factor into something. Maybe the IC title is the way. Moving on into the second hour here, we got Sami Zayn and the Usos. They were backstage with Kathy Kelly. She interviewed all of them, minus Roman, and obviously minus Punk, who is not in the Bloodline. He is on Team Bloodline OG at War Games. Sami Zayn admitted that they were shocked at Paul Heyman's announcement of CM Punk. Zayn never imagined that their partner would be CM Punk. He called Punk a complicated guy, and anyone who has known him has a complicated history with him, including Roman Reigns. Punk and Reigns would sit down and talk on Friday. It was announced tonight. Zayn wanted to trust Punk, but wondered if he could. Jimmy said, "Of course you can. We got the wise man back. The wise man says to trust CM Punk. We got everything the way we need it to be. Just trust the wise man." Jay then cut a very emphatic promo saying that he would see Jacob Fatu on Friday, whoop Jacob Fatu's ass, and they would win the War Games advantage on Friday, and they would all go to war on Saturday. Yes, Jey Uso will be wrestling on Friday Night SmackDown against Jacob Fatu. That will be the men's War Games advantage match. Should be a good one. Now, there was some major talking points coming out of Friday Night SmackDown as it pertains to Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. Solid Monster and I will be going over all of it on Tuesday Night Titans, but a couple of the things that were noticed on Friday Night SmackDown is that Solo was wearing a black suit with a red shirt and a red handkerchief in the suit jacket. Paul Heyman came out and returned on Friday night wearing a black suit jacket, a red shirt, and a red handkerchief. Now, some people were correlating this as to maybe Paul Heyman's going to turn on Roman Reigns. Maybe he's going to join Solo Sikoa. No, Paul Heyman is not joining the Solo Sikoa-led bloodline. The other thing is, Paul Heyman left without Roman Reigns side by side. They had zero interaction on Friday night. Paul Heyman left with CM Punk. The rest of the bloodline followed, and Roman walked off very, very confused. He didn't know why. He didn't know what was going on. He left, and his facial expression was one of which he was left in the dark about everything. They did not run this by the tribal chief. The tribal chief had nothing to do with these plans. This plan was all made and doctored up by the wise man. So that sit down with Roman Reigns and CM Punk on Friday night with Paul Heyman is going to be a very interesting segment. And a lot of people still to this day coming out of that Friday Night SmackDown, "Oh, it doesn't make any sense." Yes, it does. It makes all the sense in the world. WWE told like 4 or 5 different stories just with CM Punk's inclusion on the War Games team. Paul Heyman may not even align himself with Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman may want nothing to do with Roman Reigns. Would you? He got put through a table because of Roman Reigns. He got put through a table. He didn't fucking get one phone call from Roman Reigns. He was on TV every week being bullied by Solo Sikoa. Not one act of kindness from Roman towards his wise man. So what did Paul Heyman do? He came back with his best friend. CM Punk came back with his original wise man. It's going to be good. Moving on. Finn Balor and JD McFish against the War Raiders. This was for the WWE World Tag Team Championships. So the match starts. We go right to a commercial break about 60 seconds in. As always, it's a thing that WWE does. After the break, Judgment Day's in control. They targeted Eric's previously injured neck, and JD McDonagh gave him a neck breaker. Ivar eventually got a hot tag. He ran wild on JD McDonagh. They hit McDonagh with a assisted power slam. Balor broke up the cover off of a near fall. All of a sudden, Dominic and Carlito ran out, and they leapt on the apron. Eric and Ivar knocked them off. Referee watched all of this happen. War Raiders hit McDonagh with the War Machine, which is the springboard clothesline, double team clothesline that they do. I actually enjoyed their old finish called Thor's Hammer, is what Morrow used to call it. But they're running with this War Machine gimmick. Dominic put McDonagh's foot on the rope for a rope break. But the thing is, the referee saw it at the very last second and ejected Dominic because of his antics. Dominic wouldn't leave. Eric knocked him and Carlito over on the outside with a big shoulder tackle. Referee was distracted with this nonsense on the outside. Balor, who was on the opposite side of the ring, he sees Ivar going off the top rope, and he tripped him up. McDonagh cradled Ivar for the 1, 2, 3, and the Judgment Day retain the WWE World Tag Team Championships. So, I was expecting that they would lose the titles. I was expecting that the War Raiders would be the new tag team champions. But clearly, with what happened here tonight, they are certainly due for a rematch at some point. And the Judgment Day continue their reign of terror as tag team champions. This is their second title defense in 150 days plus. The division is not good. It's not. It's a dead division. I don't know why we have 2 sets of tag team titles and really nothing to show for it. SmackDown has a little bit better of a division, and there's seemingly a little bit more interest with what's going on with DIY and the Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits, being that Ciampa is undergoing an attitude change, and the Street Profits have definitely turned a little bit more darker and a little bit more aggressive. And then you got the baby faces in the Motor City Machine Guns. You got a beautiful trifecta of great tag teams there. Monday night, what do they got? They got nothing. They got the Creeds, which is great. Got the War Raiders, great. Judgment Day, which is basically holding those titles hostage. You got the LWO. Outside that, I don't really see much of a division. Now, if you merge both of these divisions together, which I've been saying for years and years and years and years, you got something to work with. WWE is adding a mid-card title on SmackDown for the women's division in the form of the Women's United States Championship. The WWE is now adding a Women's Intercontinental Championship on Monday night. We have 2 secondary titles in both women's divisions. On top of that, you got 2 men's tag team titles. On top of that, you got women's tag team titles. It's overkill, bro. It's overkill. We don't need women's tag team titles, and we certainly don't need 2 men's tag team titles. You got to consolidate. At some point, you got to say, all right, man, I think we bit off a little bit more than we can chew. I think we messed up. WWE had it the right way going into WrestleMania. Coming out of WrestleMania, they seemingly split the titles in a decision I still don't understand, and we're now going into December. That happened back in the beginning of April. And we've gotten nowhere since. Something needs to change. Another DQ here. Or another interference, I should say. Not really a DQ. Should have been a DQ, but interference. Judgment Day wins by outside interference. Sheamus, he had outside interference with Braun Breaker and Ludwig Kaiser. So, how many matches tonight? I think all the matches tonight, basically, outside the Texas Tornado match, which was no rules, that even had interference. It's no rules. That was legal, at least. Every match tonight had some form of outside interference or DQ. Moving on. The New Day. They're celebrating a 10-year anniversary on Monday night next week on Raw. No announcement of Big E as of yet. I do anticipate Big E will be there on Monday night next week. If he's not, I think that's kind of fucked up. He basically is more of a New Day member than anybody else, to be quite honest with you. So he is definitely going to be there next week. I don't know if he's going to get physical. I don't know what his status is. I don't know if he's ever going to get cleared, but he will be there on Monday night. So the New Day, they were backstage. Xavier and Kofi were smiling. They saw the vignette that played on the New Day celebration, 10-year anniversary being celebrated next week. And Xavier says he wants Kofi and him to get past their recent issues and that he loves Kofi. Kofi says he loved him too. Xavier said next week will be the biggest night of their career. Let's go out there and show them that the New Day still has it. So they walk through the curtain, and they are about to get out there and wrestle Otis and Akira Tozawa of the Alpha Academy. No, I don't constitute Otis and Akira as a tag team. Sorry. Doesn't fly with me. That doesn't work for me, brother. This tag team match lasted 1 minute. 1 minute. I looked down, I looked up, it was over. I looked up and I said, what? I was definitely taken by surprise. Kofi started. Xavier immediately tagged his back to tag himself in. Now, Joe Tess on commentary was even frustrated because he even thought that what Xavier did was fucking stupid. They're already disagreeing, and the match just started after they just told each other they loved them backstage 60 seconds ago. Otis landed a caterpillar on Xavier. Tozawa landed a top rope sky-high senton, and that was it. That was it. Akira Tozawa, he pins Xavier Woods in 1 minute, and the New Day lose to the Alpha Academy. What on earth did I just see? Said Wade Barrett. You saw the New Day lose to a jobber. That's what you saw, Wade. Kofi was not happy. This might have been the best thing on the show. Kofi asked Xavier what that was all about. Xavier yelled that he called the play, and he should have run the play and not just stand there. What play was that? Kofi started the match. Xavier tagged himself in out of nowhere for no reason whatsoever. Kofi says that wasn't the play he called. Xavier says he doesn't listen and thinks he's bigger than everyone else. The cameraman obviously following them as they're walking up the aisleway arguing. Cameraman follows them through the curtain, through the back, through Gorilla. They walk backstage through another curtain, and then they stop. Kofi says he gave him his Intercontinental Championship title shot and has done nothing but help him recently. And all Xavier has done has fumbled. He's fumbled everything. He says he held his damn cape when he won the King of the Ring. He gave him his Intercontinental title shot. He did nothing with it. He fumbled everything. He says he and Big E didn't let him call the shots for a reason, because Xavier always fumbles. He says he takes unnecessary risks. Xavier said Kofi was scared to fail and didn't get a world title shot until he came along. I'm the reason you became WWE champion. Kofi says he was a Hall of Famer before Xavier even came around, and that's why they asked him to be a part of the group. Don't you ever forget that. He then told Xavier he's yet to win a singles title. He said the reason he's never been a world champion like him and Big E is because you have never been good enough. And that's not my fault. Xavier was getting really angry. So he pulled out the one thing that I know still eats Kofi Kingston alive to this day. And this is not Kofi's fault. I don't blame Kofi for this. I blame Vince McMahon for this terrible booking decision. Xavier took a deep breath and said he was good enough to take beatings for him over and over and over again. And he said Kofi pissed away Kofi Mania in 6 seconds to Brock Lesnar and lost everything he worked so hard for. Kofi was so upset. Kofi says, I'll see you at the reunion, brother. He then turned and left, and Xavier was standing there with, basically, you couldn't see it, but he had steam coming out of his fucking nostrils, man. He was heated. The New Day is in shambles. This was fucking great. When the New Day is serious, they are great. When Xavier is serious, he's great. When Kofi is serious, he's great. Same thing when Big E got serious. They were great. And they always backed it up, and they leveled up the intensity when they had to in those moments. I don't know where we're going with this. After all these weeks of us seeing this play out, I genuinely still sit here looking at you guys through this camera, speaking into this microphone, and I genuinely don't know where we go. And I commend WWE for that. So many times we watch pro wrestling and it's very predictable. We know who's coming out. We know who's coming in. Nothing is kept secret anymore. Nothing is a surprise anymore. Outcomes of matches are very predictable. More so than any time I remember being a fan. The one thing that we've gotten throughout this entire New Day saga playing out on television over the last few months is that we genuinely don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where it's going to go. And I love that. Xavier Woods has his reasons for wanting to kill Kofi Kingston and turn his back on Kofi Kingston and basically piss away 10 years of the New Day. Kofi Kingston has all the reason in the world to basically dump Xavier Woods and go back to being a singles performer and letting Xavier float out there on his own, just festering in the fact that he was never good enough to get it done on his own. We don't know what Big E is thinking. Big E's been on the pre-shows and he's been an analyst when WWE has asked him to. We haven't heard a single peep about Big E and what he thinks about this. We don't know if Big E's even paying attention. We don't know a status on Big E. We don't know if he's cleared, if he will ever be cleared, if we will ever see the New Day ever again, complete as a threesome. But the one thing that I love about all this is the fact that you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know who's going to turn on who, if anyone's going to turn on anyone. We don't know what the New Day future is going to be. Are they going to completely fizzle out? Are they going to fucking completely kill the group? Is everybody going to go their separate ways? There's 3 or 4 different directions this thing could go. And I love the fact that they actually played this out through all of the bullshit that we got. Because the New Day story was vastly different. We were going in a different direction at the beginning of all this. We got Odyssey Jones that was in this thing. Remember him? They fired him for whatever reason. Domestic abuse or domestic violence might have been the reason, I believe. So we don't know what this storyline was going to look like with his inclusion. They dumped him, and then they continued to tell the story. I don't know what the story was supposed to be then. I don't know if it was going to morph into what we see now. I don't know if they went a completely different direction with his termination. But one thing remains out of all of it. The New Day story that's been playing out on television has been the most interesting the New Day has been in several years. There was a point where they were boring. There was a point where they were very stagnant. They basically became every week television. It's like in a bad way, You got the New Day every week. And how many times can you be fed the New Day before it kind of doesn't taste good anymore? It's like being fed food 3 or 4 times a week, the same food 3 or 4 times a week. You know, you love it, but then you grow tired of it. You grow bored of it. You want something new. The New Day was always there. The New Day was that comforting feeling on Monday night. Big E with the over-the-top entrances to get people excited, the dancing, the unicorns, the trombones, the partying, the sexual gyrations, the sexual innuendos. Just got a little tiresome. Were they a great tag team? Of course they were. Are they one of the best tag teams that WWE's ever had? Yes, they are. Are they the greatest ever? No. They still are a great tag team. But in 2025, after 10 years, sometimes you need just a little bit of a change. You need something new. You need something to spice it up. I think this New Day storyline has spiced up the New Day to a point where this is the most interesting both Kofi and Xavier have been in several years. And kudos to them for that. Kudos to WWE for recognizing that the New Day needed some sort of facelift, a new coat of paint. Next week is going to be very, very interesting, man. I'm very interested, very excited to see what they do next week and how things potentially could implode. Sometimes we just want to watch the world burn. Not saying I want to watch the New Day burn, but if we do head in that direction, I will be sitting there with my sunglasses on and I'll have a cold beverage in my hand. Should be good. Miz, he walked up to Karrion Kross. They were in the locker room. And Karrion Kross and his crew warned them that the Wyatts have arrived. Or Miz, rather, warned Kross that the Wyatts have arrived. Kross asked him, did they see you? Miz said no. Kross said, good. Then they should be easy to get to. Miz wanted to stay behind, but Karrion dragged him along for the ride. Scarlett was left alone in the locker room. She looked into the mirror and was looking at herself. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the ugliest of them all? Nikki Cross was shown in the reflection in the mirror, standing behind Scarlett. Scarlett looked very afraid. And we get that Wyatt outro that you usually see, that Nikki Cross face that kind of speeds at you on television. Segment came to a close. We got a commercial break. We come back from the break. And all of a sudden, we see the locker room is destroyed. Chairs and tables all over the place. Scarlett's on the ground. And Karrion Kross gets into the room and he asked what happened. Scarlett didn't know that Kross was there. She started punching away at him. He held her and said, hey, it's me, honey, it's me. Who did this? Nikki Cross did this. Now, I don't know why WWE, they had a perfect opportunity to give us a traditional 4-on-4 Survivor Series match at the pay-per-view or PLE on Saturday. Miz, Cross, and AOP against the Wyatts. Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, and Joe Gacy. And they didn't do it. Now, we could still potentially see that added. We got 6 days, but I'm not really holding my breath because normally the number that Triple H lands on for a PLE is 5 matches. And right now, we are at his limit. Now, Crown Jewel had 7 matches. Or 6 matches if you want to take away the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton match that didn't happen. That's why they added a 7th. They gave us 6. I don't know why we can't add a 6th, especially if we're going on at 6 p.m. Eastern. I would add this as a traditional Survivor Series match. Especially after now Scarlett, Cross's wife, has been attacked. I think that's all the reason you need to get them in the ring now. Now things have gotten personal. I'd like to see it. Will it happen? I'm not holding my breath. Before Monday Night Raw went on the air, WWE announced via Adam Pearce that the WWE will be adding a Women's Intercontinental Championship to the women's division. It is a white strap with gold plates, and the globes on the title are blue. It is basically the title that you see for the men's, the one that Braun Breaker is holding with a black strap and gold plates. It is basically the same title with white and blue accents in the globes. So he touted the division, and he touted the Intercontinental Championship over 40 years being the workhorse title in the men's division. It's going to be the workhorse title in the Raw women's division as well. Blood, sweat, and tears will be put into this title the same way that the Intercontinental title has blood, sweat, and tears poured into it over 40 years. And that this is basically what the ladies in the mid-card are going to be vying for over the next several weeks. Tournament begins next week. Now, I figured that they would wait, but the way WWE is doing things, they really want to load up this Monday Night Raw on Netflix, January 6th. We don't have a lot more time. I mean, we're almost there, 6 weeks or so? Just got to get through the holidays. United States Championship will be determined at Saturday night's main event. You will get a new Women's United States Champion, Naomi. Maybe. Hopefully. At Saturday night's main event, December 14th, on Long Island at Nassau Coliseum. They got a tournament happening right now. Finals will be taking place at Saturday night's main event. Also, by the way, announced for Saturday night's main event, Cody will defend the WWE Championship against Kevin Owens. Why? I don't know. Cody not having a spot on Survivor Series. I guess that's looked at as a good thing because look at the depth that WWE has on their roster, where they don't need Cody Rhodes at Survivor Series. Kind of bizarre, but that's the decision that they made. WWE will begin this tournament, and I'm assuming that it will get star treatment on the Monday night debut on Netflix, January 6th. Now, this is definitely going to be a topic of discussion because if you look up and down the Raw women's division, there really doesn't seem to be that much depth. And I'm going to look up the Monday Night Raw women's division right now. If I could, I'm going to go to WWE.com and I'm going to see right now the roster superstars. I want to see who they have in the Raw women's division right now. And let's see. Let's go to Raw. So right now, the way we look at things, actively on the roster right now, not including people who are injured. Alba Fire. She is a great wrestler, but she's a part of a tag team. I guess they could use her away from the unholy union with Isla Dawn, but she is a former NXT UK Women's Champion. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, two ladies who could benefit from a singles title in WWE, especially if it's a new mid-card secondary title. Dakota Kai. I mentioned this last week. You saw the promos last week. WWE strategically put promos for Lyra Valkyria and Dakota Kai in the show last week. Pre-taped vignettes, hyping them up. Dakota's coming back from injury. Lyra hasn't had much to do. And I said in both instances, please tell me that you're bringing me an Intercontinental Championship for the ladies without actually telling me. And that's exactly what they did. Dakota Kai, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn. Nikki Cross. I don't know if she's actually going to wrestle, but she is definitely a comparable female who could get the job done. Io Sky. She's also somebody at the top of everybody's list who thinks people want to see her with a championship. People think that she should have a championship. Kairi Sane. Katana Chance. Kaden Carter. Also a tag team. Kiana James. We haven't seen Kiana James. Maybe we see her back on Monday night. I don't know why she's out, but if you go look at her Instagram, I'll give you 2 reasons exactly why she was out. It's not that difficult to see. Lyra, Maxine, Natalya, Nikki Cross, like I mentioned, Scarlett, who we've seen in the ring maybe once or twice, but not really a in-ring performer, more of a valet type. Rhea, Shayna, Sonya Deville, Zelina Vega, and Zoe Stark. I mean, there are women there. I didn't even count Asuka and Becky Lynch. And I'm not counting who WWE may call up in 2025. I definitely think we see Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade get called up. Maybe we see a Sol Ruka get called up. I have no idea. WWE's got names. But those tag team championships are a real eyesore. And the lack of star power in the women's division is certainly not there. There are comparable names here, but WWE, they're going to need more than just what we have here. They need just a little bit more. What I honestly think they should do is just cut the tag team titles out and just focus on the Intercontinental and Women's Championships. I don't know what they do with the tag team championships now that Jade is out. If you're having a championship tournament for both the United States and Intercontinental Championships, I don't think the tag team championships need to be a priority anymore. I don't. The whole reason for the tag team championships was to give more opportunity for the women. And then Vince killed it legitimately in less than 6 months. They were dead and they never recovered. Nobody cares about the women's tag team titles. The women's tag team titles were never a part of anything important. And the women's tag team titles, I swear to God, if you get rid of them, nobody will be asking for them. Nobody will care where they go. And nobody will even realize that they're gone. Everybody that I mentioned who's a part of a tag team is probably better off being a singles wrestler than they are a tag team. Bianca, Jade, Alba, Isla, Katana, Kaden, Kyrie, Io. We don't need tag teams in the women's division. We don't. You got to build story. And you got to build superstars who are comparable to everybody else who's higher up on that ladder. You got to build everybody up. This is a great opportunity now to build somebody up who hasn't been given an opportunity to break through. You see what they're doing on SmackDown, the names that are in that tournament. Chelsea is an odds-on favorite. She's coming along. Naomi. How many people have been asking for Naomi to be a champion? Not going to happen. Especially when you got Charlotte coming back, and you got Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Those championships, are going to be very far and few between for most of that roster. And you know what WWE does? They always go to their tried and true. This is a great way to get everybody potentially moving on up the ladder so that you can create your next Beckys and your next Rheas and your next Charlottes. It's got to start from somewhere. But WWE, the one thing that I look for that's holding them back is that tag team title. Get rid of it. I don't think that they will. I don't think they are. But you have way too many championships now. Too many. We talk about AEW having way too many championships, and I could sit here and claim that AEW's got way too many championships, and 9 out of 10 of them don't mean shit. That doesn't mean I'm not going to zing WWE on that same thing. Tag team titles are fucking useless in the women's division. The men's tag team division, it's been a fucking disaster since 2016. I've been saying the same fucking thing since 2016. Merge the divisions. You only need one set of titles. If you want the brand split to be laxed, if you're going to operate the brands with a laxed brand split, you don't need 2 tag team titles. You don't need women's tag team titles that will float between both shows when your priority is to build these championships up as just important as the women's main championship titles. The tag team titles by default take a backseat, and they are now useless. They are not looked at as important anymore. They're not. All the opportunity that those titles were giving to women are now going to all these other women that is now being split 50-50 between Raw and SmackDown with the IC title and the women's and the United States Championship. On top of the 2 women's championship. 5 titles in the women's division? Just with the lack of depth you have here, bro, that's way, way too much. Cut one. Cut one, cut the women, and merge the men's, and that's all you got. That's all you need. That's all you need. Way too many championships. It's a little overkill at this point. Something needs to be done. Something needs to be changed. Fixes need to be made. Intercontinental Championship is coming. I believe Adam Pearce says a tournament will start next week. If not next week, I could see it being next week, being that it's after Survivor Series. I could see it taking place for that entire month of December, and then the finals happening on that Monday Night Raw. Netflix, January 6th. Nia Jax told Liv and Raquel, along with Tiffany and Candice, that they have basically already won War Games because Jade was taken out. She thanked whoever did that. She said she didn't even care if she beats Belair to get the advantage as long as she squashes her, because then they'll have a 5-on-3 advantage. Bianca Belair and Nia Jax in the main event of Monday Night Raw. This is for the War Games advantage on Saturday night. I presume the ladies will open the pay-per-view on Saturday night. It's went 11 minutes. Jax took control. They go into a commercial break. She threw Belair into the barricade. We come back from the break. Belair fought back, but Jax avoided a standing moonsault. Hits a leg drop for 2. Jax goes up to the second rope and hits a diving leg drop off the second rope for a 2 count on Bianca. Jax standing on the middle rope again. Belair, she lifts Nia Jax up and hits a press slam on Nia. Crowd went crazy for that. Always goes crazy for those feats of strength by Nia. Or Bianca, rather, on someone like Nia. Follows that up with a standing moonsault. Goes for a cover, gets a near fall. Jax responded with a Samoan drop. She goes back to the middle rope. 3rd time. She goes for an annihilator. Belair brought her down with a German suplex. Jax ripped off the top turnbuckle in the process. So now we have the top turnbuckle exposed. Jax splashed Belair into the exposed steel. This gave her an opportunity for a Samoan drop onto the announce table on the outside, which she did not break. Jax saw this wasn't enough for a count out. She drove Belair into the steel steps. That was not enough. She posed on the middle rope, ready to celebrate. Bayley ran out. And she tripped Nia up. And this spot was supposed to be Jax falling face first into the exposed turnbuckle. That really did not happen here, and it looked sloppy as fuck. Jax was down off of the Bayley interference. Belair hit a 450 splash. 1, 2, 3. Bianca wins. Bayley and Belair smile at each other, and the show abruptly comes to an end. I mean, it wasn't terrible. Nia botched the end, but what are you going to do? Nia is Nia. Bianca gets the War Games advantage. So the babyfaces have the War Games advantage. Usually it goes to the heel. 9 times out of 10, it usually goes to the heels. So I'm assuming, being that the babyfaces got the advantage on the War Games side for the women, Jacob Fatu and Jey Uso on Friday Night SmackDown, I'm going to presume, because I did not read the spoilers, that Jacob Fatu is going to take care of Jey Uso, and that Solo will have the advantage for his bloodline on Saturday night. Monday Night Raw was a decent show. It really didn't do much of anything, honestly, to forward any stories. They didn't really do much of anything. Survivor Series was already kind of planned out, and we got what we got. They added 2 more matches tonight, which is great. Now we got 5 total. I was wondering where those other matches were going to come from. LA Knight will defend against Shinsuke Nakamura, the United States Championship. And then we got, obviously, the Intercontinental Championship. Ludwig Kaiser, Braun Breaker, and Sheamus. That will be a triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. That should be a banger match. So we got a banger match coming there. Damian Priest versus Gunther for the world title, and then the 2 War Games matches. That rounds out Survivor Series. I would add a 6th. I would add the 4-on-4 traditional Survivor Series match with the Wyatt 6 and the Final Testament, but I don't think that's happening. Maybe they do that at Saturday Night's main event. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're saving that for. Big 8-man tag there. I don't know. Wyatt's on primetime, 8 p.m. Eastern, NBC? Could be. Monday Night Raw was decent. Wasn't really all that crazy. But wait for Friday Night SmackDown. Friday's got Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu, War Games Advantage, and that big sit-down between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. That is what people are looking for. That is going to be very, very exciting. Thank you guys very much for all your support. Thank you guys right here on YouTube. Thank you guys for everything on Twitch. You guys are great. Couple shout-outs on the Twitch side of things. First-time chat from Scripps. Hey, OTS Twitch fam. And we got one from Angel42778. What's up, JD? My name is Angel from Philly. Love your show. And shout out to you, JD. Can you give me a shout out, please? Angel, what's up, brother? Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the content on the channel. There is plenty of content on the channel. Go and check it out. It's all on the homepage. Got more coming tomorrow. TNT with the Solid Monster live tomorrow night, right here on this channel, 8:30 Eastern. Shout out to Doc, too. Dr. Disrespect signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Rumble. He is now leaving YouTube and will be streaming on Rumble. Big things happening over there, man. Speaking of big, Blue Chew. Tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at Blue Chew, man. You know, we always talk about first impressions, man. They are the most important thing. Job interview, first date, meeting the parents for the first time, right? In your relationship, always super important, man. First impressions are important, but what about lasting impressions? That's where Blue Chew comes in, man. Gives you the extra confidence in the bedroom when you need it most, so you guys can be at peak performance. You don't want to look like the AEW Dynamite ratings in the bedroom, man. Give me a break. Blue Chew is a unique online service that provides the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, but it comes at a fraction of the cost and comes in a chewable tablet. The process is very simple. You're going to sign up at BlueChew.com. You're going to consult with one of their online medical providers. And once you are approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days. No questions asked. It's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office. No weird conversations with strangers. No waiting in line at the pharmacy. You can take them anytime, day or night. Plan ahead, be ready whenever that opportunity arises. And the best part is they're made in the USA, so you know you're getting a quality product. And they're prepared and shipped directly to you. Discreetly, right to your front door. And we got a special deal for all of our listeners here on OTS. Try Blue Chew for free. $5 shipping and handling at checkout is all you are going to take care of. I got the rest. Visit BlueChew.com. Receive your first month free. Code JD at checkout at BlueChew.com. All you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. And I want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Appreciate it, guys. Super chats are open. Get them on in. User279 with a 4-month membership. What the fuck are you drinking, user? All he says is OTS, fire emoji. Thank you, brother. Michelle Moran with a $2 super chat. Without Punk, Drew, Seth, this show felt flat. We're going to move through these shows, man, and when we get to Saturday night's main event and when we get to that Raw on Netflix, man, things are going to be so busy, I don't even know what I'm going to do, man. Apex with a $1.99. Swerve is Kofi turns heel on Woods. Instead, Io pretending she didn't betray Bayley was wild. Yeah, that is kind of odd, huh? It's like they never even played that up. That's gotta be an inconsistency there. Something's gotta come out of that. This is why I said Bayley is definitely in contention for attacking Jade. King Mo Jackson with a $4.99. Hey JD, whatever happened to your other show where you were taste testing wines and peanut butter whiskey? What happened to that? My guy Big Hodge moved to Arizona. And that got put on, I don't want to say permanent hiatus, because I know when we see each other again, we're probably going to do something. But as of right now, that is on the back burner. Studa Beats with a $2 super chat. AEW made this show look decent tonight. Well, AEW is pretty much in the shitter. What do you expect? King Mo Jackson with a $1.99. Are you a fan of UFC and boxing? If so, who's your favorite? No and no, King Mo. I do not watch boxing. I do not watch UFC. Best in the world, Matt, with a $5 super chat. MVP and the Hurt Syndicate have earned massive points in my book for refusing questions from Figure 4 Wrestling Online and that nerd, Dave Meltzer. Meltzer can suck it. You know, I had so many people reach out to me asking my opinion on the Kate from Fightful debacle at the post-show media scrum with Bobby Lashley. All I can tell you guys is I'm not surprised. They have the dumbest of the dumb at these post-show media scrums. There was one guy in the media scrum who asked Tony Khan if they were going to unveil new toys. One guy wanted a Jack Perry scapegoat bus toy. Like, this is the level of people that they bring to these scrums. Do I think Kate asked a wrong question in the moment? Yes, I do. I don't really understand why we're making a deal and bringing race into a pro wrestling discussion. You could have asked the man anything else that you wanted. Why do you need to mention him and the color of his skin and him walking into AEW where there are other successful black athletes? Bobby Lashley is a former two-time WWE champion. The guy's done it all. The fuck does he give a shit about walking into a company that is paying him very well and seeing other black athletes champion? He's going to have influence over them no matter what because of what he's done already and what he brings to the locker room. I don't know why that needed to be stated. All she did was want a quick headline, clicks for her Blue Sky page, and that was basically it. I don't know why questions like that aren't screened. And the blowback that she got for it is deserved. Yet nobody at Fightful is going to say anything, and nobody at Fightful is going to admit defeat or say we fucked up. We apologize for Kate's behavior. We apologize for the out-of-line questioning. We will do better next time that one of our team members is at a post-show media scrum. This is why I've said from day one, everybody that gets invited to these things is not there for the product. They are there for themselves. They are out for themselves. They don't give a shit about AEW. They would never tell you anything that's wrong with AEW. They want to stay in their safe space, and all they want to do is make sure that they are coddled and comforted by AEW so that they have the opportunities that are given to them. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to bite the hand that feeds them, because then they can't make content, because their content on their end is fucking garbage. Look at Kate, look at Fightful, look at Denise. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Any more questions? Oh, but why is JD so popular? Why does he got all the viewers? We're honest, we don't suck dick, and we're not pushing some fucking weird agenda like these other creators in the community are. It was a bad question. It was a bad question. Out of all the questions you have to ask a former WWE heavyweight champion, that's what you ask? And Bobby Lashley, being the professional that he is, answered the question in the most professional way he could possibly answer it. I hope they never get another invite. Did they learn their lesson? Probably not. I'm sure we'll get some fucking stupidity at the World's End media scrum. Some people just don't deserve to be seated there while other people work their ass off, are honest, genuine, and real. And then you get the fucking dirt lowest people sitting in a fucking seat there in front of the actual talent. Not today, Jay, with a $9.99. JD, I had this thought the whole weekend. What if Bianca attacked Jade and we are getting her turning heel at War Games like Dakota Kai did in 2019 to Tegan Nox, and that heel turn sees the tag team titles go away? I hope so. If it meant the tag team titles go away, Jay, I'm all for it. Lauren with a $2 super chat. New Day celebration is gonna be cinema. Should be good. I don't have cable. I didn't know Raw was 2 hours. Lauren, where have you been for the last month and a half? Cake with a $2 super chat. Great precedent set with the women's mid-card titles. What's that, Cake? Too many titles? I said it 2 weeks ago. They need to add by subtraction. Lauren with a 2. Happy 1-year anniversary to Punk and Orton. Man, the AEW fan base is in an uproar, man. Everybody tweeted the Punk return last year at Survivor Series, man. One of the biggest moments that WWE ever produced. Great moment, and it was also what changed the flow of the industry, and it was also the nail in the coffin for AEW, because they have not been the same since that fucking night. And you can sit there and deny up and down till you're blue in the face, man. Go cry to your mommy and go ask mommy for a double chocolate chunk cookie and a glass of milk. Shut your fucking mouth. Let me tuck you into sleep. Shut your mouth. And listen to professionals actually speak on the topic. AEW is dead. Somebody find the attendance numbers for Chicago's show on Wednesday. What's the attendance numbers looking like? Are they even at 3,000 yet? Dead. So much so that they need to move out of Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane, Australia, because they couldn't sell a fucking dime worth of tickets. Triple M with a $5 super chat. Bungie nerfed new Warlock big DPS bug. Why do they hate fun? Anyways, hope you and the rest of the OTS family have a happy Thanksgiving. Triple M, I was on today farming the first encounter of the dungeon with randoms. I got no rolls, bro. No rolls. Arcade the Hedgehog with a $5 super chat. Hey, JD, there was no Dark Horse in the GTA Online, so I put JD from New York license plate on my Dominator GTX, which is close to a Dark Horse Mustang. Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, Arcade. It's not the Dark Horse, but as long as you're representing the podcast, you get a thumbs up. Cody with a $5 super chat. My favorite part of that behind-the-scenes feature for Punk's return may have been H peeking through the curtains to witness it. Awesome, man. Triple H is a fan, bro. He's business, and he's a fan. He knew how important that was. Yuri Lover with a $5 super chat. If I worked for AEW, I would create a storyline for Mina and Mariah that would lead them to get married. First lesbian wedding in wrestling history. No. No. The Joker's voice with a $15 super chat. Io has been in every War Games match. She has. I mentioned this last week. 6 War Games matches Io has. NXT Women's Tag, Women's Champ, 2 times Women's Tag Team Champion, WWE Women's Champ, Money in the Bank winner, #1 contender for the World Wrestling Classic, WWEC. Io quietly is the MVP of the women's division. Hail OTS. Io's great. Everybody loves Io. She's also the #1 contender for the WWE Women's World Championship. Dalton Meister with a 5. What's up, JD? I've heard people saying they don't like this Gunther Damian story. I think it's great. It's something different and makes Damian Priest look great. Well, that's the whole point of it, bro. That's the whole point of it. It's to make Damian look like a true babyface. Cake with a $2 super chat. I hope they don't give Bianca's WrestleMania streak to Rhea. Bro, she's losing that WrestleMania streak. She's not getting anywhere close to where it needs to be. El Masi with a $10 super chat. AW Grand Slam Australia moving to another venue. Must be moving to a bigger building because of the huge demand. Ha ha. You're funny, El Masi, man. You're a funny guy, man. You're a funny character, bro. Fucking comedian over here, bro. Now, they'll probably move to the fucking bingo hall down the street that holds 3,000 people. I thought this was supposed to be their stadium tour of 2025, man. We're already off to a fucking terrible start. Hollywood guy with a $5 super chat. YouTube is not letting me read Hollywood guy's $5 super chat. There he is. JD, I read on Sportskeeda that Lash Legend might be the 5th member. Well, I don't see that. Well, clearly it's not Lash Legend, and after what we saw tonight, it will probably be Bailey. Chris with a 28 months. 28 months, happy Thanksgiving to the best community. OTS JD, question for you. If you have the pen, who wins the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble match? Randy Orton. I'm not going with John Cena. Champas with a $5 super chat. So I was curious and asked if the coach would collab with you, and his reply was really good praises for you, JD. Coach is great. Coach is a solid guy, bro. Krauser. $2 super chat. Masha versus Grace. 2 out of 3 falls at WrestleCade. Love Masha. Love Jordan. 2 beasts. Yeah, Sportskeeda is shit, though. Mr. Noob with a $5 super chat. As sad as it makes me to say this in today's world, I think we're more likely to get another women's tag team title than a consolidated men's title. They gotta do something, bro. They gotta do something. Get rid of that women's tag team title, man. Get rid of it. I've been saying it for years. Gerald Davis with a $10 super chat. Aloha, JD from Hawaii. Would it be safe that both men and women's US and IC titles will be the mainstay for Saturday night's main event, and that's why they added it? I don't know. It's going to be a dual show. They're not going to do a heavy brand split from this point on till WrestleMania, so I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. It is very confusing. I'd wish we stick to one lane and just stay in it. Big Steve with 2 months. What's good, JD? What are you drinking? Well, right now I'm drinking some Liquid Death. Tomorrow with the Solid Monster, I may pour myself open some Screwball Eggnog. It's that time of year, bro. Brendan Watson with a $4.99. Are you going to do any more Pokemon unboxings in the future? I kind of miss them. No. I am not. It is something I do away from the channel, and it is a hobby that I keep to myself. Logan the Inspired with a $4.99. This isn't a wrestling question, but I've been creating a stir with this. JD, do you think the best college football team could beat the worst NFL team? Probably. I don't see why not. Football's football. If you know how to run it and you know the psychology of it and you got great fucking players to back your team up, why not? Sidro! $2 super chat. Sick in bed, massive migraine. No jokes tonight. Oh my goodness, man. This guy. No wonder the stage was empty tonight, man. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Get well, Sidro. We'll be in the venue tomorrow, man. I'm gonna need you to bring at least some spice for the Solid Monster tomorrow. Gotta cheer him up this week. He's been attacked by the sickos over on the AEW side of things because they're fucking retarded. Thomas with a $5 super chat. What are the chances of Brock interfering with War Games? Also, the 0. Also, do you think Heyman leading CM Punk and Lesnar as a faction and a possible tag team? No. Lesnar's not returning unless Vince is innocent and all charges are dropped. And Thomas with a $2 super chat. Who should Cena face in his final match next year? Randy Orton or CM Punk? And Big Steve with a $1.99. You planning on bringing back Mr. 9 to 5? I am not. I find those games to be boring. And AEW's wrestling game was a fucking disaster. If there's a wrestling game out there that is worth my time, maybe. Is there anything out that's coming out that's cool? I don't know. 750 likes, guys. We're 7 away. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you for the goal tonight. Goal is achieved. I may actually set a goal on Wednesday's Dynamite, man. It is going to be a lofty goal. But I think you guys are going to enjoy this one, man. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the content on the channel. There is plenty of it. Plenty of it. And there's more coming tomorrow. I'll be live with the Solid Monster, Tuesday Night Titans. Tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for the super chat, love. Leave me a comment down below. Thank you to everybody on Twitch, my Twitch family. And please hit that subscribe button down below and turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys keep it right here, man, all week. We're going to be busy all week. Triple M gifting a tier 1 sub to Speedy Prow on Twitch. Love it. Go subscribe to the second channel as well, man. Some great content going up tomorrow. We got some great content up there today, so go check it out. Link is down in the description. And I will see you guys tomorrow with the one and only Solid Monster on Tuesday Night Titans. Until then, guys, I'll see you later.